Hi everyone, E from Rev Consultants, just jumping on for a very impromptu live. I just really feel very inspired today. So I'm jumping on from my lounge room because I've been a bit under the weather this week. So don't mind me that I'm on the couch. Um, I'm feeling super inspired. I just shared a post about basically having more security and safety in your subcontract company. Oh, I'm just going to turn my emails off. Um, And the reason that's really inspiring to me is I've kind of just realized through my own coaching group that I'm a part of that the thing that I want most in my business and the reason that I am committed to bringing in more turnover is always around security and safety. And I love that we create this for our clients. I love that we create this more than I love that we bring in extra revenue, which we always do. So what we do with our clients is we bring in hundreds of thousands of pounds of additional revenue through safe tendering. But I think it's the safe bit that's really kind of jiving for me this week. So I wanted to jump on and share a few thoughts on how you can create that for your own subcontract business. I've had quite a few conversations recently that went something along the lines of, I knew that I shouldn't take this job on. I knew that I was having red flags. I knew it was a risk, but I took it on anyway to secure a pipeline so I could keep my guys in work and basically maybe a little bit out of fear, like need the work, come on, got to keep the guys in work, got to keep the machine rolling. I'll take this job because it's being offered, even though something doesn't quite feel right. All variations of this, including, and then the company went bust, and then there was a lot of additional work than what we expected. And ultimately meaning we didn't make money, we didn't have profit. And it kind of breaks my little heart when I hear this because our clients work so incredibly hard for their clients, and to then not get paid, to not make profit, for all of that hard work, to not be going towards having kind of a more comfortable, happy life, doesn't make sense and doesn't feel good. So a few really quick things I'd love to share with you, and this won't be a super long broadcast, but just a few things I wanted to share about how you can build more security and safety into your subcontract company. Obviously, it's working with the right people is huge. So how do you make sure, if you're tendering with new clients, or even if you have existing clients who aren't quite treating you right, or you've worked with them before, no problem, but even great clients can have a problem project, right? So if you're tendering for work and something isn't quite feeling right, the first thing I want to say, I'll give you some practical thoughts as well, but the first thing I want to say is please listen to yourself if something doesn't quite feel right. So as I said, like the recurring thing for me is that my clients know when something feels off, and they'll say it didn't quite feel right, or I saw some red flags, but. And I just want to encourage anyone listening to listen to that. It doesn't quite feel right. And it doesn't mean you have to cut it off altogether, but go to the client and ask them some questions, some clarifying questions that might help you to either feel more comfortable with the tender or decide not to do it. Key red flags for me at tender stage are things like very short deadlines and flexible. So if they come to you and say, we need a return on this price in 2 weeks' time, and it's 32 apartments, it's the electrical wiring or whatever it is, and you have to go out to your suppliers before you can get a price back, and you're kind of saying, listen, I can't do this in 2 weeks, I need 3 weeks, I need 4 weeks, really, and that's not being received, I'd be very cautious about that. If the client is not interested in you getting a really complete price back to them, I would be very, very surprised if they then become interested down the track when you come back and say, my price was not complete, here's what was missed. Don't forget, you pushed me to get a price back. chances are they won't want to hear it. And you probably may have tied yourself into a contract that says that they don't have to. So if that's a big red flag for me, if you're getting a tender return that doesn't make sense and you can't complete a proper tender in that time, I'll be going back and saying, listen, I really need 4 weeks minimum to get a proper price back, if that's what it is for you, depending on, turnaround for supply chain, time to look at the drawings, site visit, anything that's included. So that's the first thing. And then if their response is not great to that, then yeah, be really cautious about that. Their general attitude towards you is important. Are they inviting you to a site visit? Are they inviting you to come in and learn about the company if it's a new client? Are they wanting to sit down and have a coffee with you and take you through things? Do they seem interested in building a relationship with you? Or do they purely just want to press you for a price and they don't want to actually have much to do with you? That can be a really clear indication, A, of whether there's actually a good chance that you're being price checked or whether they actually want to work with you. And B, how they treat their subcontractors. So whether they're going to be a really great client for you. And it is worth taking the time to work with the right people, right? It is worth working to get in bed with the right clients. So that's one. Another red flag for me, well, we always tell our clients to check credit scores. When you put a tender in with a new client, they are going to check your credit score and they're going to check references and they're going to check who in the company has worked with your company before. They're going to want to dive into you and how they might want to come to a previous site that you've worked on. So they're going to be looking into you, and I would strongly recommend that you look back. It's like an interview, right? You go to an interview, you're being interviewed by the company and you are kind of interviewing the company. Do I want to work here? What's your attitude like? Are you going to be good to work with? You don't just say, what's the salary? Okay, let me sign the contract, without looking at it. So let's, exercise a bit more discretion around that. Lots of companies are going bust at the moment, unfortunately. So don't get caught up in that. Credit check them. Find out from your mates who've worked from them before, people in the industry, reach out, ask around on LinkedIn, whatever the thing is, but look into them too. How do they treat the subcontractors? How are they with payments? Do they pay on time? What's their credit score look like? These are some things that you can start to have a look around at. Yeah. And another big thing is cash flow. That is huge. Cash flow is huge for safety, security, and safety in your business. So if you're not kind of managing your cash flow, whether that's with your accountant or through spreadsheets or however you want to do it, I mean, this is not, this is something that we actually do dive into in Pipeline to Growth as well, a new program, but it's definitely something that you should be looking at because cash is king. And we see companies come unstuck all the time due to cash. So that's another really solid way that you can build in security and safety. So pipeline and cash flow, I'd say those two combined are super important. And I think I'm going to leave it there for today. I feel like I could talk about this all day, but yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. So we do launch that next week for Pipeline to Growth. Our whole thing is bringing in additional revenue, additional turnover for our clients through tendering, but it's like in a super safe and secure way because that's what we're most interested in. Oh, sorry, last one. I can't leave without this. Please read the contract. Most of our clients don't really read the contract. And that's something I saw all the time working for main contractors, that the subcontractors I worked with, even up to bringing in, multi-million, kind of 10 million pounds plus, sometimes just weren't even reading the contract. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine. I get it. Sometimes it's a 200-page document. You can pay people and we can put you in touch with professionals, construction lawyers and other professionals who can read that contract for you and charge you however many hundreds of pounds, and it will be the best money you ever spend in your life because it could save you tens and tens and tens of thousands and or your whole company. So that's something that we always stress. We do teach people in our programs how to simply read the contract, but if you just really don't want to do it, then please outsource it. Don't leave that piece of work undone because that's one of the biggest protections for you and your company. All right, that's where I'm going to leave it today. So feel free to DM me to reach out if you want to chat about anything that we're doing in our business around helping subcontractors to bring in more revenue, helping them to create more security and safety in their businesses. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. All right. Ciao.